Naheed Nenshi's needless temper tantrum. I'm Brian Lilley with the Rebel.media. Look, politicians can get into a snit now and again, but I've never seen anything quite like what I experienced with the mayor of Calgary as he was visiting Ottawa on Thursday. I've met Naheed Nenshi in passing just a couple of times. I don't think I've really done stories on him that I can remember, and I can't say we know each other. But each time I have met him, I've been polite. I've given him the respect that he deserves, given the office he holds. In fact, as he was walking into his speech at Ottawa City Hall Thursday morning, I stopped him to introduce myself. I said hello, we shook hands, and he went to give his speech. I was impressed with his speech, by the way. He was warm, he was funny, engaging, disarming, and he gave a full-on defense of the oil industry.
It's not a question of oil or no oil. We're going to need the oil for the foreseeable future. Leaving it in the ground is not a rational strategy. But we have to figure out the safest and most environmentally friendly way to be able to do that.
I could tell listening to this man that he actually meant what he said. When you've been at this game as long as I have, you can generally tell when politicians are speaking words that somebody wrote for them, words they have to say, but words they don't actually believe. Nenshi believes in Alberta oil. You may not think so, but I do. I think he believes in it. That's going to shock a lot of you, but if you want to hear the full 9 minutes of his speech that deal with the oil industry, then you can watch all of it. Posted it at the Rebel.media because I think his speech needs to be heard. Nenshi spoke about how Canadian oil meets tough environmental and labor standards, that it doesn't come from some of the nastier places on earth. And you know what? He may not like this comparison, and well, Ezra may not like it either, but I felt like I was listening to a left-wing Ezra Levant give the ethical oil argument. Now that fascinated me because in Eastern Canada, in Central Canada, progressives have almost en masse decided that oil is dirty and pipelines are bad. We all know about Denis Coderre and the Montreal area mayors saying no to the Energy East pipeline before they had even fully filled out the application, before they'd made their case. But what many don't know is that Montreal used to have a refinery, was pushed out by progressive politicians who didn't want the oil industry and the dirty jobs that went with it in their city. We know about Justin Trudeau's stance. We know about his top advisor, Jerry Butts, calling for a zero-carbon economy, a shutting down of the oil sands, and so on. So Nenshi's speech in his defense of the industry fascinated me. I was tweeting as much as he spoke. I thought maybe this is the man that can overcome the objections of too many progressives, the objections of too many people on the left in this country. So in the scrum afterwards, I tried to ask, well, what really would have been a complimentary question of the mayor if I'd gotten it all out. They were definitely respectful questions, but I never got to finish them because he threw hissy fits and refused to let me finish each time I tried.
You're very effective arguing from the left on pipelines.
No, I'm not arguing from the left at all. Next question?
Well, no,
yes, go ahead.
Can I rephrase them, Mayor Nenshi? Progressives in Eastern and Central Canada continue to come out against
it's not about left. It's not about left versus right. And frankly, framing it that way is not helpful. Next. Hi.
I don't know what that was all about. Look, I've covered prime ministers, premiers across the country. I've covered presidents, the Queen. I've stumped the best of them. I made one premier look at his shoes because I'd caught him. He didn't know what to say. I've asked hostile questions of hostile politicians, and never in all my time as a journalist have I been treated like that, shouted down before I even finished my question by a politician doing a scrum. I have to wonder, is it due to Ezra? I don't know Mayor Nenshi, but he does know Ezra. They've been frenemies for near 25 years. Was he taking out his anger at Ezra on me because we work together? If so, he should really grow up. That temper tantrum is unbecoming of a mayor of a major city in Canada. What I wanted to ask him was how he could help convince people on the left, the progressive side in Canada, of his arguments when the industry and so many before him have failed. It's a fine question. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very respectful. But for some reason, Nenshi was too rude, too childish to let me finish. I agree with them. This shouldn't be a left-right issue, but it has become one. And it has become one because of the left. The left in Canada has decided that we should say no to the energy industry, that we can do without oil. As he said in his speech, leaving the oil in the ground is not a rational strategy. So I'm asking Mayor Nenshi to rise to the occasion. You are a progressive, sir. You are on the left. And you pride yourself on that, Mayor Nenshi. There's no problem with that. Rise to the occasion, though. Tell your side. convince your side of your own argument. For the most part, I agree with what you said in your speech at Ottawa City Hall. More Canadians need to hear that argument, specifically more Canadians on your side of the political aisle. So let me ask you, Mayor Nenshi, are you up to the challenge?